Franchise opportunities cover a range of industry sectors and can have vastly varied levels of required investment. The level of investment could range from less than $30,000 to more than $1 million. The Massey University Survey of New Zealand Franchising indicated the median retailing startup costs were $242,000 and non-retailing startup costs were $76,750. Given the range of businesses available, along with the range of required investments, it is a good idea to make an early decision on what you can afford. If you haven't already, now is the time to take a good look at your financial situation. When you do, deal with facts rather than what could be, as reaching beyond what you can properly afford can invite trouble and is a common cause of business failure. Use a professional advisor to help you work out what you can afford and what kind of financing you should consider. The following questions are intended to help you determine the level of investment that you can make. How much cash do I have available to invest? What other near-cash assets like shares, term deposits, debentures, bonds, or money loaned to others do I have? What are they worth, and in what time frame can I realise them? How much equity is in my home, and how much could I potentially borrow? What liabilities do I have outside of my home, such as personal loans, car loans, and credit card debt? What is my overall net worth? And ultimately, if things weren't to turn out as planned, how much money am I prepared to lose? If my partner or spouse works, how can this income help while the business is established? Am I thinking about going into business alone or finding a partner to co-invest in a franchise? What other sources of available capital do I have? For example, banks, family, friends, or the franchisor. Considering these questions earlier is a good idea, and understanding what you can afford will help you narrow your search and save you valuable time later on. Also, such preparations will help you to impress family, your franchisor, and potential sources of capital, including banks. If you make the effort to understand the full setup costs, including easily overlooked areas, at an early stage of your investigations, this will help you to make a good investment and one that may ultimately be different from your original thinking. Assessing the full setup costs means that you have to think through a wide range of potential areas and considerations. If your franchise opportunity of choice involves finding and establishing suitable premises, there will often be an additional category of setup costs to consider when compared with non-location based or mobile types of franchises. Franchisors who are members of the Franchise Association can assist you with working out the setup costs because the association's code of practice requires franchisor members to clearly outline within the disclosure document a list of components that make up the franchise purchase, including estimates in some areas. These details should then be added together to show, as far as possible, the full setup costs. The Franchise Association member may also indicate in the disclosure document those items that could be leased rather than purchased and so reduce your initial outlay. Depending on the type of business you are considering, examples of establishment cost areas may include the initial franchise fee, initial franchisee and staff training, launch marketing, finding and fitting out suitable premises, equipment, vehicles, stock, and prepayments like insurance and rent, working capital, and due diligence advice such as legal, accounting, and business advice expenses, and other advice or information or work such as location reports, leasing advisors, designers, and so on. The initial franchise fee. This is the fee paid on signing the franchise agreement or shortly afterwards for the right to be a franchisee under the franchise system for the term of the franchise. Usually this is a fixed fee and is paid up front. Sometimes the initial franchise fee may include franchisee training and other practical items. Fact. The Franchising New Zealand 2010 survey conducted by Massey University reported that the median initial franchise fee across sectors was $30,000, but ranged from $0 to $100,000. Sources of information. While a Franchise Association member's disclosure document provides you with important information about setup costs, this should be treated as a starting point in your quest to establish the full costs. This is because there can often be variations in costs that relate specifically to you and/or the area or location being considered. Because of this, we strongly recommend that you conduct further research with other parties, including your franchisor. The most obvious starting point, as your franchisor should be most experienced in establishing units, franchisees. Existing franchisees can provide you with an extremely valuable insight, as you can ask them what setup costs they experienced and what setup costs they incurred and which, if any, items surprised them. Your accountant. An accountant who has dealt with similar types of businesses could be of great assistance based on their experience and expertise. And your bank. Your specialist banking contact may also have dealt with similar businesses or situations. Questions to ask. When working out the total setup costs, it is good to arm yourself with a pre-prepared list of questions that you use for the basis of each opportunity you consider. A list of suggested questions can be found by clicking the resource link beneath this video. And over time, as you talk further with different parties, you will learn more, and you may also add extra questions to your list.